Amara had learned early that hunger could make a person quiet. In the busy streets of Lagos, near a noisy local market, she moved like a shadow, small, careful, always watching. She was 15, slim and tired in a way no child should be. Her clothes were old and too big, her slippers were cracked, and her eyes had the sharp look of someone who had spent too many nights listening to danger. She did not have a home in the way other children did. Some nights she slept behind a closed kiosk with other street children. Other times she hid near the back of a church building where the security light gave a little comfort. She washed her face at a public tap when she could. She survived on scraps, leftovers from restaurants, bruised fruits thrown away by traders, and sometimes a kind woman's hand that would quietly slip her a piece of bread. But kindness was not something she counted on. That evening, the market was closing. Traders were packing up. Hawkers were shouting their last prices. The air smelled like pepper, dust, grilled meat, and diesel fumes. The road beside the market was always busy, but at that time of day, it became worse. Cars fought for space, buses stopped anywhere, motorbikes squeezed through gaps that were not meant for them. Amara stood near the edge of the road, holding a small nylon bag with 2 bruised oranges inside. She had found them behind a fruit seller's table. It was not much, but it was something. Across the road, she saw a small crowd near a roadside food stand. She could smell hot rice and stew, and her stomach tightened with longing. The woman selling food was calling out to customers, her voice firm and familiar, like someone who had stood in the same spot for years. Her name was Sophia. Sophia was not rich, but she looked like a woman who did not fear hard work. She was in her early 40s, dark-skinned, with a round face and strong arms from lifting pots and stirring big spoons. She wore a simple apron over a faded blouse, and her hair was neatly covered with a scarf. Her food stand was made of a small table, a cooler, and 2 big pots balanced on a charcoal stove. People liked Sophia because her food was clean, hot, and honest. Amara had watched her before from a distance. Sometimes, when Sophia noticed her, she would wave her away gently, not because she hated her, but because street children often chased customers away. But Amara did not take it personally. She understood. Survival made everyone careful. Still, the smell of the food pulled Amara forward. She stepped closer to the road, trying to find a gap to cross. A bus passed, then another. A group of people rushed forward, and she followed without thinking, her eyes focused on the other side. That was when the danger came. A large truck, heavy and fast, pushed through traffic like it owned the road. Its horn blasted, loud and angry, but the sound blended with everything else, the shouts, the engines, the market noise. The truck driver did not slow down, he only pressed the horn harder as if noise could clear the road for him. Amara was already in the middle. She did not see it. Her mind was on food, her mind was on getting across quickly. Her mind was on the simple hope that maybe she could stand near Sophia's food stand and beg for a spoon of rice. Then someone screamed. Amara turned her head, confused, and saw the truck's front grille rushing toward her like a dark wall. Her body froze. For one short second, the world became silent inside her head. She could not move. She could not breathe. Her feet felt glued to the tar. Her eyes widened, and her mouth opened, but no sound came out. Sophia saw everything. From behind her pots, she noticed the small girl stepping into danger. She saw the truck cutting through traffic. She saw the driver's face, hard, careless, impatient. And she saw Amara standing in the worst possible place, too late to run. Sophia did not pause to think. She dropped her spoon, pushed past a customer, and ran. Her slippers slapped the ground as she moved with sudden speed. People shouted, but Sophia did not hear them. She reached Amara just as the truck was close enough to shake the air. Sophia grabbed Amara's arm with all her strength and yanked her backward. Amara stumbled, fell, and hit the ground hard. Sophia fell too, both of them rolling to the side as the truck thundered past, missing them by only a small distance. The wind from the moving truck blew dust into their faces. People screamed again, this time from shock. For a moment, Amara lay on the ground, shaking. Her heart was beating so loudly it felt like it would burst. Her hands trembled. Her whole body felt weak, like water had replaced her bones. Sophia sat up slowly, breathing hard, her apron dusty, her headscarf slightly loose. She looked at Amara with wide eyes, then pulled the girl closer without asking permission. "Are you hurt?" Sophia asked, her voice tight. Amara could not answer immediately. Tears filled her eyes. She stared at Sophia like she was looking at a miracle. "No, no," she whispered. I'm okay." Sophia exhaled, her shoulders dropping slightly as relief hit her. You could have died, she said, shaking her head. This road does not forgive mistakes. Amara's tears spilled over. She grabbed Sophia's hand with both of hers, holding on like she was afraid Sophia would disappear. Thank you, Amara cried. Thank you so much. You saved me. Sophia stared at the girl's thin arms and dusty face. Her expression softened. Stand up, she said gently. Come, sit by my stand. Amara stood with trembling legs. Sophia guided her back to the roadside food table. Customers watched with mixed emotions, some surprised, some guilty, some simply curious. Sophia ignored their stares and brought a small bottle of water. Drink, she said. Amara drank slowly, still shaking. When she finished, she looked at Sophia again, her voice small but sincere. I will repay you, she said. One day, I don't know how, but I will. Sophia gave a tired smile, like someone who had heard many promises in life. You do not have to repay me, she said. Just stay alive. That is enough. But Amara shook her head, tears still shining on her cheeks. No, she insisted. You pulled me from death. I will never forget. Sophia studied her for a moment, then reached into her pot, scooped a small portion of rice and stew, and placed it in a disposable plate. Eat, she said quietly. Amara stared at the food as if it was gold. Then she began to eat, and for the first time in a long time, warmth spread through her chest. Not only from the hot meal, but from the feeling that maybe, just maybe, life could still change. And as she ate, she kept looking up at Sophia, her heart making a silent vow she would carry for years. After the near accident, Sophia did not let Amara walk away the same way she had come. She watched the girl finish the rice with a kind of hunger that made Sophia's heart squeeze. When Amara licked the last bits of stew from the plate, she lowered her head, almost ashamed to have eaten so fast. Sophia cleaned her hands with a napkin and spoke gently. Where do you sleep? Amara's fingers tightened around the empty plate. She hesitated, then answered the truth. Anywhere I can. Sophia's eyes softened, but her voice remained calm. Do you have parents? Amara's throat moved as she swallowed. My mother died. I don't know my father. Her words came out flat, like she had repeated them too many times to feel them again. Sophia stayed quiet for a moment. Around them, the market was emptying, and the evening light was fading into orange. A bus honked nearby. Someone shouted at a driver. Life continued careless and loud. Sophia finally nodded. What you did today could have ended everything, she said. You cannot cross that road like a blind person. Amara blinked, tears rising again. I wasn't thinking, she whispered. I smelled food. Sophia sighed. I know, hunger can confuse the mind. She poured more water into a small cup and pushed it toward Amara. Drink again. Amara obeyed. That night, Sophia packed up her stand as usual, but she kept glancing at Amara, who sat quietly near the table like a child afraid to move. The girl's clothes were dusty, her hair rough, and her shoulders looked too small for the heavy life she carried. Sophia could not pretend she had not seen her. When Sophia finished packing, she lifted her cooler and balanced a small bag on her head. Come, she said. Amara stood quickly. Where are we going? Not far, Sophia replied. Just follow me. Amara followed her through the market streets as the lights of small shops flickered on. They passed a row of kiosks, then turned into a quieter area behind the market, where the noise faded and the air smelled less like smoke. Sophia stopped near a small security post by a church building. The guard, a middle-aged man with tired eyes, sat on a plastic chair. Good evening, Brother Paul, Sophia greeted. The man nodded. Good evening, Mama Sophia. Sophia pointed gently toward Amara. This girl nearly got killed today. She has no home. Please, can she sleep near the church gate tonight? Just one night. I will talk to the pastor tomorrow. The guard studied Amara, then sighed. Mama Sophia, you always bring trouble that touches the heart. Sophia gave a small smile. It is not trouble, it is life. Brother Paul nodded slowly. She can sleep on the bench near the side wall, but she must behave. Amara's eyes widened. Thank you, sir, she said quickly, almost bowing. Sophia turned to Amara. I will bring you something in the morning, she said. Food and soap. Clean yourself. Then we will see what next. Amara's voice shook. Why are you helping me? Sophia looked at her with a serious face. Because I saw you die before my eyes, she answered. And because somebody should help you before the streets swallow you. Amara's tears returned, but this time they carried something different. Hope mixed with fear. I will repay you, she whispered again. Sophia touched her shoulder lightly. Repay me by staying alive, she said. Good night. That night, Amara lay on the wooden bench by the church wall. The night air was cool and mosquitoes buzzed in the dark, but she did not complain. For the first time in a long time, she slept without one eye open. In the morning, Sophia returned as promised. She brought a small nylon bag containing bread, a sachet of pure water, a bar of soap, and an old wrapper. Use this to cover yourself, Sophia said. And wash your face. You look like you have been fighting the whole world. Amara tried to smile. Maybe I have, she whispered. Sophia led her to the public tap nearby and waited while Amara washed. When Amara returned, her face looked clearer and her eyes seemed brighter. Now listen, Sophia said, adjusting her headscarf. You cannot stay on the road forever. You are young. You can still learn. Amara's heart beat faster. Learn? How? I don't have money. Sophia's expression turned firm, like a mother correcting a child. You think money is the first thing you need? No, you need discipline. You need to stop running from place to place. If you agree, I will help you find a way. Amara stared at her like she had not heard correctly. You would do that? For me? Sophia nodded. I am not rich, Amara, but I am not helpless. I sell food, I know people, and I have eyes that can see a child wasting away. Amara's lips trembled. Yes, she whispered. I agree. I will do anything. Sophia led her back to the food stand. All day while Sophia served customers, Amara helped in small ways. Washing plates, fetching water, cleaning the table. She worked quietly, but she worked hard, as if she was afraid the chance would disappear if she blinked. Some customers noticed her. That girl is your daughter, one woman asked, spooning stew onto her rice. Sophia shook her head. No, she is someone life tried to destroy, but God said no. The woman looked at Amara again and clicked her tongue. The streets are wicked. Yes, Sophia agreed, but we can still fight back. That evening, Sophia took Amara to a small women's group that met near the market. They were traders, food sellers, and seamstresses, women who understood hardship. Sophia spoke to them honestly. This girl is alone, Sophia said. I want to help her return to school, even if it is small, even if it is slow. Some women murmured. One woman, taller and older, asked, And where will she stay? Sophia answered, With me, in my room. I have only one bed, but we will manage. Amara's eyes widened again. With you? She whispered, shocked. Sophia glanced at her. Yes, unless you want to return to the streets. Amara shook her head quickly. No, I don't want that. The women exchanged looks. A few nodded slowly. A seamstress named Auntie Bissy said, If you are serious, Sophia, we can contribute something. Not much, but we can try. Another woman added, Maybe the pastor can help too. The church sometimes supports children. Sophia nodded. Anything will help. Amara stood there, listening, her heart full and heavy at the same time. She wanted to speak, but no words seemed enough. That night, Amara followed Sophia to her small single-room apartment behind the market. The room was not beautiful, cracked walls, a small mattress, a tiny stove, but to Amara it looked like safety. Sophia spread a thin mat on the floor. You will sleep there, she said. Amara lowered herself onto the mat slowly, like she was afraid to dirty it. Sophia turned off the light, then spoke softly in the dark. Amara. Yes, Mama Sophia? Sophia paused, then said, I do not know what your future will be, but I know this. If you work hard, life can change. Amara swallowed back tears. I will, she promised. I will work hard. Sophia's voice was quiet, almost tired. Good, because one day you will also help someone. Amara stared into the darkness, holding those words tightly. Outside, Lagos moved as usual, cars, voices, horns. But inside that small room, a new life was beginning. Life with Sophia was not easy, but it was steady. Amara woke up every morning before the sun fully rose. Sophia believed that discipline was the first step to survival. They swept the small room together, fetched water, and prepared for the day. By the time Sophia pushed her food stand to the roadside, Amara was already alert and ready to help. At first, people stared. Some customers whispered, others asked questions. A few shook their heads, wondering why a food seller would bring a street girl so close to her life. Sophia ignored them all. She focused on her pots, her customers, and the quiet girl beside her who worked like she was afraid of resting. Amara washed plates, fetched water, wiped tables, and learned how to serve food politely. Sophia taught her how to count money, how to greet customers properly, and how to stand confidently without fear. "Your past does not need to sit on your head," Sophia often said. "Lift your face." Amara listened carefully. After a few weeks, Sophia took Amara to the church pastor. She explained everything: how she saved the girl from the road, how Amara had no family, and how she wanted her to return to school. The pastor, a calm man with kind eyes, listened closely. "She is too old for primary school," he said gently. "I know," Sophia replied, "but she can still learn." The pastor nodded. "There is an adult education center not far from here. Evening classes. It is not expensive. The church can help with part of the fees." Amara's heart nearly jumped out of her chest when she heard that. That same week, Sophia and a few women from the market contributed money. It was not much, but it was enough to register Amara for the evening classes. Sophia also bought her 2 notebooks, a pen, and a simple school bag from a roadside stall. When Sophia handed the items to Amara, the girl froze. "These are for me?" she asked, her voice trembling. Sophia nodded. "For you. Knowledge is something nobody can steal." Amara hugged the books tightly to her chest. Tears rolled down her cheeks, but she smiled through them. The first day of class was terrifying. Amara sat at the back of the classroom, surrounded by people older than her. Women who wanted to learn how to read, men who wanted to improve their chances in life. The teacher spoke slowly and clearly, writing letters and numbers on the board. Amara struggled at first. Her hands shook when she held the pen. Her spelling was poor, her reading was slow. Sometimes she felt ashamed when others read faster than her, but each time she wanted to give up, she remembered the truck. She remembered Sophia's hand pulling her back from death. So she tried again. Every night after returning from class, Amara studied by the weak light in their room. Sophia would be counting money or preparing ingredients for the next day. "You are tired," Sophia would say. "Rest." "I will rest after this page," Amara replied. Weeks turned into months. Amara improved. She learned to read properly. Her writing became clearer. Her confidence grew. Customers began to notice her change too. She spoke politely, smiled more, and stood taller. "She looks different now," one customer said one afternoon. Sophia smiled proudly. Education changes the back. Amara did not stop at evening classes. After 2 years, the teacher encouraged her to register for basic exams. Sophia supported her fully, even when it meant tightening their budget. There were days Sophia ate less, so Amara could eat more. There were days she worked longer hours, so Amara could buy exam forms. Amara noticed everything. She noticed Sophia's tired eyes. She noticed her aching knees. She noticed how Sophia still smiled, even when her body begged for rest. At night, Amara would whisper silent promises to herself. "I will not waste this life. I will not fail her." Amara passed her exams. When the results came out, she ran all the way from the school to the market, breathless and shaking with excitement. "Mama Sophia," she shouted, waving the paper. Sophia dropped her spoon. "What happened?" "I passed," Amara cried. "I passed everything." Sophia stared at the paper, then pulled Amara into a tight hug. Her eyes filled with tears. "I knew you would," she said softly. With the results, new doors opened. A charity organization linked to the church offered scholarships for promising students. Amara applied, nervous but hopeful. Weeks later, the answer came. She was selected. Amara would attend a proper secondary school. The day she wore her school uniform for the first time, Sophia could not stop staring at her. "You look like someone important," Sophia said, smiling. Amara laughed shyly. "It is because you made me important." School life was hard but exciting. Amara faced challenges, long walks, heavy books, difficult subjects, but she never complained. She studied late, woke early, and helped Sophia whenever she could. Years passed quietly but steadily. Amara finished secondary school with good results. Her teachers praised her discipline and kindness. When it was time to choose a path, Amara did not hesitate. "I want to be a nurse," she told Sophia. "I want to save lives." Sophia's eyes softened. "Like the day I saved you?" Amara nodded. "Yes, and like the day someone will need me." With another scholarship and endless determination, Amara entered nursing school. The journey was long and demanding. There were nights she cried from exhaustion. There were moments she doubted herself. But she never forgot where she came from. She never forgot the road, and she never forgot the woman who pulled her back from death and gave her a future. By the time Amara graduated as a nurse, Sophia was already older. Her steps were slower. Her hands shook sometimes when she stirred her pots, but her smile remained the same, and life was quietly preparing to bring the promise full circle. The emergency room was loud and restless. Doctors moved quickly from bed to bed. Nurses shouted instructions. Machines beeped without pause. The smell of disinfectant filled the air, mixing with fear, pain, and urgency. It was another busy evening in the government hospital where Amara worked. Amara adjusted her gloves as she hurried toward the emergency desk. Female patient, about 65, a nurse reported quickly. Car accident. Unconscious on arrival. Multiple injuries. Blood pressure dropping. Amara nodded, her face calm, her mind sharp. "Prepare the trauma room," she said. "Call the doctor on duty. Get IV access ready." She had learned to stay steady in moments like this. Panic saved no one. As the stretcher was rushed in, Amara followed closely, checking vital signs. The patient's clothes were dusty, stained with blood. Her face looked tired and pale, her breathing shallow and uneven. "BP is low," another nurse said urgently. Amara leaned closer to the patient, her eyes scanning quickly, professionally. Then her breath caught. Something about the woman's face, older now, thinner but familiar, hit her like a wave. Amara froze for half a second, her heart beating faster than the machines around them. "No," she whispered under her breath. She looked again, the shape of the face, the scar near the eyebrow, the gentle lines around the eyes. "Mama Sophia," Amara breathed. The world seemed to tilt. The roadside food seller, the woman who had pulled her from the road, the woman who had fed her, housed her, and given her a future, now lying broken on a hospital bed. "Amara," the doctor snapped. "Focus, we are losing her." Amara swallowed hard. Tears burned behind her eyes, but her hands did not shake. "Yes, doctor," she replied firmly. She stepped forward with new urgency. This was no longer just a patient. This was the woman who had saved her life. Amara moved with confidence, directing the nurses, adjusting equipment, monitoring the monitors carefully. She knew exactly what to do. Years of training took over. "Start fluids now. Prepare her for scans. Careful with her ribs." The doctor watched her closely. "You know this patient?" Amara nodded once. "She saved my life many years ago." The doctor looked at her for a moment, then nodded. "Then let us save hers." The next few hours were tense. Sophia had internal bleeding and a fractured leg. Her condition was serious, but not hopeless. Amara stayed close, watching every detail, responding quickly to every change. When Sophia was finally stabilized and moved to recovery, Amara stepped outside the room and leaned against the wall. Her legs felt weak. She pressed her palm against her chest, breathing slowly. "I found you in time," she thought, "just like you found me." Later that night, Amara returned to Sophia's bedside. The older woman was awake now, her eyes half open, confusion clouding her face. Sophia tried to speak, but her voice was weak. "Easy," Amara said softly, adjusting the pillow. "Do not talk yet." Sophia frowned slightly, studying the face above her. Her eyes focused slowly, recognition forming. "Amara?" she whispered. Amara's eyes filled with tears. "Yes, Mama. It is me." Sophia's lips trembled. You are a nurse?" Amara smiled through tears. "Yes. Because of you." Sophia closed her eyes briefly, tears sliding down the side of her face. When she opened them again, she smiled weakly. "I knew it," she whispered. "I knew you would repay me, my child." Amara shook her head gently. "You saved me first, Mama. Now it is my turn." Sophia reached out weakly, and Amara held her hand tightly, just like she had held Sophia's hand years ago after the road accident. Over the next few days, Sophia's condition improved steadily. Amara made sure she received the best care possible. She spoke to the doctors, arranged treatments, and stayed close whenever she could. One afternoon, Sophia looked at her seriously. "How much is all this treatment?" she asked quietly. Amara smiled softly. "Do not worry about that." Sophia frowned. "Amara, Mama," Amara interrupted gently. "You carried me when I had nothing. Let me carry you now." Sophia's eyes filled with tears, but she nodded. When Sophia was finally discharged, Amara personally arranged everything. She cleared all medical bills without collecting a single naira from Sophia. She brought a clean set of clothes, helped her dress, and supported her carefully as they walked out of the hospital. Outside, a black SUV waited. Sophia stared at it in surprise. "Where are we going?" Amara smiled. "Home." She helped Sophia into the car and sat beside her. As the vehicle moved smoothly through the city, Sophia looked out of the window, shaking her head in disbelief. "Life is strange," she whispered. "Very strange." Amara nodded. "But kindness always finds its way back." As the SUV drove on, the promise made on a dusty road many years ago was finally fulfilled. Sophia's small room behind the market had not changed much over the years. The walls were still cracked, the windows still let in dust. The narrow space still smelled faintly of charcoal and cooked food. When the SUV stopped in front of the building, Sophia stared at it quietly, her face thoughtful. "I never thought I would return here like this," she said softly. Amara helped her out carefully. "You do not have to stay here anymore, Mama," she said gently. "This place has done its work." Sophia looked at her, confused. "What do you mean?" Amara did not answer immediately. She guided Sophia back inside and helped her sit down. The room felt smaller now, like it belonged to a past life. "You will rest here for a short time," Amara said. "Then we will move." Sophia frowned. "Move where?" Amara smiled but said nothing. Over the next few weeks, Amara took full care of Sophia. She hired a helper to assist with cleaning and cooking. She arranged regular hospital checkups and made sure Sophia followed every instruction the doctors gave. Sophia healed slowly but surely. Each day, as she regained strength, she watched Amara with pride and wonder. The frightened street girl had become a calm, confident woman. She moved with purpose, spoke with assurance, and treated everyone with respect. One evening, as they sat together, Sophia sighed deeply. "If I had known saving you would bring all this," she said, smiling faintly, "I would have pulled you even harder from that road." Amara laughed softly, then grew serious. "Mama, there is something I need to show you." The next morning, the black SUV returned. Sophia wore a simple dress and walked with the help of a cane. Amara helped her into the car, and they drove through busy streets, then quieter roads, until they stopped in front of a large building. Sophia stared through the window, confused. The building was bright and new, the signboard was covered, but the smell of fresh paint filled the air. Large glass windows reflected the sun. Inside, tables, chairs, and clean counters were neatly arranged. "Where are we?" Sophia asked. Amara opened the car door and helped her out. "Come and see." They walked slowly inside. Sophia's eyes widened. The space was large and beautiful. Shiny floors, stainless pots, shelves neatly stacked. Everything looked ready for business. Amara stopped in the middle of the hall and turned to her. "Mama," she said softly, "this is yours." Sophia stared at her. "Mine?" Amara nodded. "A restaurant, a big one, where all kinds of food will be sold, rice, soups, snacks, everything you know how to cook, and more." Sophia's hands began to shake. "Amara, I cannot—" "You can," Amara said firmly. "You taught me how to work. You fed me when I was hungry. You showed me dignity. Let this place feed many people." Tears filled Sophia's eyes. She covered her mouth with her hand, unable to speak. Amara continued, her voice steady. "I have hired staff. I have arranged suppliers. You will not stand all day by the road anymore. You will supervise, you will teach, and you will rest." Sophia's knees weakened, and Amara quickly supported her. "I only saved a child," Sophia whispered, crying openly now. "I did not know I was planting a future." Amara held her tightly. "You saved more than a child. You saved a life, and that life grew." A week later, the restaurant opened. People gathered in large numbers. Market women, church members, neighbors, even hospital staff came. The food was excellent, the environment clean, and the story behind the place spread quickly. Many were moved to tears when they heard how a roadside food seller saved a poor girl from an accident, and years later, that girl saved her life. Sophia stood at the entrance, dressed neatly, smiling proudly as customers came in. She did not need to shout anymore. Her work spoke for her. Amara watched from a distance, her heart full. That evening, after the crowd thinned, Sophia sat beside Amara and held her hand. "Kindness," Sophia said quietly, "is like a seed. It waits." Amara nodded. "And when it grows, it feeds many." As the lights of the restaurant glowed against the night, the road that once almost ended a life now stood as a reminder that kindness never truly disappears. It only returns, greater than it left. What is your view about this story? Where are you watching from? If you like the story, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories.